Hi, thanks for joining us today. In this RepricerExpress video, we're going to look at how you can use automations to sell off products and FBA products that are due long-term storage fees quicker. To get started, we'd go up to Repricing and then Automations. On the Automations section, you can choose to set up rules based on one of our pre-existing templates, or as we're going to do in this demonstration, make one from scratch. The first thing to do is to determine a name and choose the marketplace. Once you've chosen them, we then move on to our triggers. The triggers control how the automation works. So first thing we'd choose is for long-term storage fees, any products that are due fees within the next 6 months. Whenever we get data from Amazon, they'll tell us how many a quantity of your product are due fees within the next 6 months. We'd normally suggest setting this to anything greater than 1. So in other words, if any of your stock is due long-term storage fees for that product, your product can be moved to a more aggressive rule. You can, however, have this as a higher number if you choose. The next thing to determine is the rules that your product will move from. By default, it's all products, or you can choose to limit this down to a more specific product if you choose. Next, we determine what rule you're going to move this product to. In this case, I've already made a rule called old stock, which is more aggressive, and that's where I want it to go. Finally, we have our triggers. Our triggers determine what happens when this criteria no longer applies. So we can choose to either move it back to the original rule, or just leave it in this rule if you'd prefer. So in other words, when this product is no longer due long-term storage fees, it'll either move back or it can stay, whichever you choose. The final section to look at is our timings. Timings allow us to set a lock period, first and foremost. A lock period basically means that when this automation runs, another automation can't run on this product for so many days. You also can set a start and end date for this automation. Both of these settings are optional and you don't need to use them if you don't want to. The final thing that you get to do is to have a look at the number of SKUs that would be affected by this automation, and when you're happy, just hit Set Live Now to get started. I hope you found this video interesting. Please have a great day.